there, guys. Welcome to episode 65 of Screen Source. We're going to be talking about film and television news. I've been talking about it all night, so it's just getting redundant. I'm Connor.
Dylan.
Stanley.
Sarah.
And we're going to be just talking about some stuff. What are you going to be talking about, Stanley?
I got some news on the Steven Spielberg streaming video service.
Ooh, Steven Spielberg's going to be streaming videos. That's exciting. What kind of...
What other things do we expect?
What kind of content do you think he likes to, he's going to stream? You know, is he going to Twitch?
He's delving into horror.
He's going to Twitch. Yeah,
He's our California color circuit section run by Steven Spielberg.
Yeah,
exactly.
He's going to host it.
He's a friend. He's a family friend. And I will be talking about Disney potentially bringing back the X-Men animated series for Disney Plus. That's...
You should just get right into it.
Yeah, that's actually our first story. Let's do it. So, the team behind X-Men the Animated Series is hoping to continue the show at Disney. There's nothing, as far as I can tell, there's nothing confirmed. It's just there's hope. Disney recently bought Fox, and other than Spider-Man, pretty much owns every Marvel property. And I think they technically own Spider-Man.
I think they have the rights to distribute, like...
Yeah, but they own the character.
They can make movies with the character.
Like Sony has to come to them and be like, "Can we do this with him?" And Disney can we put Mysterio in the movie? Yeah, just this once though. Oh, thank you. And it's only a matter of time before Disney buys up Sony anyway.
Yeah.
Really?
But in 1990, if you guys remember the X-Men animated series,
I was a kid when those came out. So
I do not.
That's my shiz.
for some reason, my mom banned me from watching certain cartoons,
Oh, no.
and X-Men the animated series was one of those
I
cartoons.
wonder why.
I think because it promoted tolerance, and my mom's a Republican.
I was gonna say, was it too violent?
Sorry, Diana.
I think that was it.
Did she take all the...
Your mom
all
was
the...
Magneto. She hated...
No, my mom was the Sentinels,
Gotcha.
killing the poor mutants, and I learned tolerance that way.
Yay.
No, it was the violence, I think, but it's
Right,
not
yeah.
that violent of. It wasn't that violent of a
Nah,
cartoon.
it wasn't.
I love X-Men,
Yeah.
Yeah.
especially Gambit.
No.
Gambit was
Gambit was always the best to play with.
Gambit's
games.
awesome.
Yeah.
He's fucking Cajun. He throws cards that are like weapons. He's got a fucking
Explode.
staff. He's the best.
He is the best.
Wolverine ain't got shit on him. But like that's one of my biggest memories from watching it is Rogue's cool, Wolverine's cool, and Gambit is the fucking best. I even like Cyclops. It's the only it's the only X-Men property to not make Cyclops a fucking lame-o.
Right.
Let me go back to the story here. So let's go here. Just it's probably one of the better '90s superhero cartoons as well.
For sure. The Spider-Man was pretty good too, though. Did you ever watch Spider-Man?
I could not get into the Spider-Man franchise because it was definitely for like I was an edgy kid.
Okay.
Right? I watched The Simpsons, even though my mommy didn't want me to.
Nice.
So the Spider-Man cartoon was like clearly for like kids, and I was like, nah, screw that. I say ass.
No. Yeah.
Am I not mistaken in that this is going to be a continuation, or that's what they want to do?
I think so. I think that's what they want to do. I don't really want to see it come back. I think they should. I think they should put the original on Disney Plus.
Right.
I think the first thing Disney needs to do with X-Men is reboot it after a very underwhelming
Dark Phoenix.
last couple of films.
Yeah.
Like Logan was
But
good.
Dark Phoenix is the lowest I think they've ever done in the box office.
It's if your films if every story about your film is how bad it's going to be, no one's going to go see it. So I think that's what Disney needs to do first is they need to establish an X-Men like franchise, like film before they bring back a 20-year-old animated series.
Right.
I'm kind of okay though. It feels like it could be on its own. It could be separate, kind of like what they did with Star Wars animated series.
Like a very specific timeline.
Yeah, it's its own thing, and you don't have to worry about everything else.
If they did like an X-Men First Class animated series, I'd be into that. Like a retro.
That could be fun.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Like I'd rather see them do something like that than just bring back. Although in that theme song, I'd kill to have that theme song come back. Theme song was the best part of that show, besides Gambit.
Did you ever see the Japanese opening to that?
No.
It's
No.
completely different.
Is
I
it?
bet.
It is. Yeah.
What is it? Is it like
it's
little
it's
bouncy
little rock-
gooey balls?
They're
and-
fighting they're fighting things. Like there's these little weird alien things. And they're, like,
Did you watch the
fighting
X-Men
them.
animated series?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, so I'm going
When
to talk
did-
to this side of the room.
Well,
It came out.
What year? Was
It came out in 1992,
90s.
but it was syndicated. It was
Yeah.
showed. I'm trying to remember what channel it was shown on.
When
Was
did
it
Fox. It was on Fox.
Fox
it was
Kids,
On,
yeah.
It was on the kids. Yeah.
So yeah, someone tell me like when it ran, like what from when to when.
92.
So
97.
I-
5 seasons.
Was too small.
No,
I was
yeah.
watching like baby shows like Sesame Street during that time.
I was a cool kid, man. It was Saturday morning. My parents were asleep. I just popped it on, watching shit like Samurai Pizza Cats and X-Men the animated series.
I wasn't alive in '92, so
Okay.
There you go. That does it.
and, yeah.
Yeah, X-Men's also one of my favorite just franchises.
I think
in
it's probably
general.
one of the
They're
be- it's
so
one of my-
fun.
I think it's my favorite Marvel property outside of the Punisher.
Mm,
I love the Punisher. Punisher's fucking
Is that the
great.
Punisher movies?
I like the one with Thomas Jane.
Okay.
I like it a lot.
Yeah?
I think it doesn't get enough love.
Mm.
I recognize like no,
Did you like Warzone? Did you see Warzone?
no, Warzone sucked.
Yeah,
I
you
hated
like
it.
it?
I like the realism of the Thomas Jane one.
Okay.
I think John Travolta's a terrible villain in it, but I think the Punisher himself and his storyline's real cool.
He's a fun story and character to delve into.
But I think like the over the top violence of Warzone just put me off. I was
Too
like,
much,
this
huh?
is fucking over the top. This is
Well,
ridiculous.
Rambo style.
Well, the
Well, it's understated. It's
Yeah.
like the violence in the Thomas Jane one is like understated, and then when
Right.
it gets gory, it's like,
It
oh
hits
god,
again.
it's real good shit.
Yeah.
What's your favorite X-Men movie?
That's tough.
I loved First Class.
First
is
Class?
I really
so
loved First
good.
Class.
First Class is fantastic.
I loved Logan too.
Logan's
up there for me.
beautiful.
But it's too dark. I think a little bit because I'm the kind of person I like light and fluffy things like sad
First
things
Class,
makes me
light
sad.
and fluffy. The darkest
Yeah.
moment is when he shoves the coin through Kevin Bacon's head.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that was amazing.
That was good
No,
stuff.
I loved First Class, and I loved like the look of it. I loved the like feel of it. I loved the music and the what everybody was wearing, and I really liked First Class a lot. But Logan is a close second, just because like cinematically it's beautiful, but it's a sad and it makes me sad. I don't want to be sad.
no.
I don't know. X2, First Class, Logan, they're all so good. It's hard to choose, and they all feel very different.
Yeah.
None of them feel the same.
Yeah.
You know, other than like like the First Class like series of movies where there's 2 of them.
Yeah.
And then Logan's on its own, and the first 3 feel the same, and like. I kind of it's gone through a lot of iterations. It's been around for 10 years.
20.
20 years. That's
First one came out in 2000.
insane.
You mean
That's
the
insane.
movies? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll ask you guys this: Deadpool, X-Men. Do you count it like
No.
in
X-Force.
X-Men movies?
X-Force
I don't.
movies.
No.
It has X-Men characters, but it's like I don't consider Spider-Man an Iron Man movie
Yeah.
because Robert Downey Jr. showed up.
That's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair.
I think Disney has talked about continuing that series as a rated R. Like they don't plan. on
I've
something
I've
like
heard
that.
Ryan Reynolds talk about how he wants to do a G-rated Deadpool.
They kind of already did, right?
No, it was
They cleaned
PG-13.
it up,
It was
yeah.
PG-13.
But he means like solid G rating, which
That
I'm
would
all
be
for.
funny.
I think Ryan Reynolds
that could be.
kill it.
I'll bet he.
After Detective Pikachu, I'm like Ryan Reynolds
That would
can
be
do no wrong.
like
it would be fun
meta.
to see how they go.
I would
about
love
Yeah.
it if he was about to swear and then he'd say fork. It'd be forking great.
Like he'd like break the fourth wall every time.
I
Rated
shirt you
G.
not.
That's not even possible.
I
That's
don't.
insane.
What's the last rated G film you like? Do you remember? Like
A
pure
Studio
G.
Ghibli.
Cartoon, yeah.
Was it? Is
Studio
Studio Ghibli G or
Pon-
PG?
Ponyo, I think is
Ponyo?
G.
Ponyo's
And Totoro is G.
Ponyo.
But the rest of his movies are like PG-13.
I love Ponyo.
So X-Men, are you guys excited? Do you guys think they should bring it back? Nothing's confirmed as far as I can tell. I just think it's all rumors and speculation.
I think it's fun that they're pitching to Disney Plus. We need to see some good content on
I
there.
think, especially because they're bringing the first 30 seasons of The Simpsons, which got me. I was like, all right, I'm getting Disney Plus. All right, I was like, okay.
Oh,
well,
only the first 30?
there's only
Aw.
30 seasons.
I don't know. I feel.
So I don't think it's a stretch to believe that they'll bring back like the X-Men the animated series
Sure.
and maybe the Spider-Man the animated series.
They've already talked about bringing back other old series like Clone Wars. It's not as old, obviously, but
Right.
Clone Wars season 4. So stoked.
Good for you.
Huh? Is it? Oh, I'll double check it. What's your news?
Alrighty. So
He
switching
says
over.
unexcited.
So we'll go with the news.
Let's hear it.
Steven Spielberg is writing a horror series for a new streaming service known as
Quibi.
which is short for Quick Bites.
Ugh.
So the whole caveat for Quibi Quick Bites is a third generation of film narrative. Which Quick Bites is meaning super short episodes between 7 and 10 minutes long that you can stream on your phone or other devices
Huh.
for $5 a month,
Okay.
or $8 if you don't want commercials.
So like YouTube, but you have to pay for
I was just
it.
gonna say it's
and-
YouTube.
and far less content.
We're not a fan of this news story.
Far less content. Yeah, I won't even go with this. So they're talking about getting other people involved. Spielberg is the highest profile person right now. So so like one of the big things about the service is the service itself will be able to tell when it's night, and his horror whatever he's writing, his horror show, you will only be able to be watched at night.
At
What?
night.
What?
Yes.
On
Like,
your phone?
Because your phone can detect
Do
light.
you guys remember when
yeah.
U2 released that album on iTunes that you had no choice but to own? That's what that sounds like.
A little bit, I guess. It just sounds. This is the. I don't know if it's the draw or it's the cute little.
This is the
Yeah, it's a
Zune
cute little
of
thing.
streaming
That's what
apps.
it
they're
is.
doing. So
They're trying something different. I don't know that that's gonna work.
No.
I'm not a fan of this
okay,
idea
so
at all.
There's that.
Oh boy.
Let's hear
The
it.
thing is, though, I don't know if anybody remembers. A few months ago,
Yep.
Steven Spielberg was leading the charge against streaming services, saying that they're not valid and they're not,
At least they shouldn't be in the running.
They should be in the running for the Academy Awards. They should be their own thing, and then like experienced a lot of backlash, and then we're
He
real
did,
quiet.
but there's still some festivals that won't give them awards either, or won't.
That's
even,
Kansas still.
Yeah.
they're still kind of like boycotting. kind
Right.
of,
It's
and-
weird. It's weird
Yeah.
that
I
they're
don't-
not like moving forward with the rest of us.
And
And you know they're all watching all of those shows.
Yeah.
yeah, and there was supposed to be a big meeting with Spielberg and the guy that does the guy that owns Netflix.
Okay.
And then but okay, we never heard anything else. Then it was quiet, and now he's pushing his own new little
That's
streaming
what
service.
this was in his head the whole time.
Do you
So
Yeah.
maybe, possibly.
do you think this just could be a joke on all of us?
If
He's
it
just gonna
is-
fuck with us.
If it is, I have a renewed like faith in Steven Spielberg. I don't
'Cause it's a
think it
joke?
is.
No,
I
it's
don't
not a
think
joke.
it
It's
is.
not a
No,
joke.
I know
I
it's
think
not a
it's
joke.
And he's been busy lately. He's remaking West Side Story.
Is he? Yikes!
Yeah.
No.
What else is he doing right now? He's doing Indiana
They're
Jones.
doing another. That's a go.
With
Yeah.
Harrison Ford?
He's staying real
Go.
busy.
Good for you,
Oh,
Steven
like-
Spielberg.
I'm still
love
crazy
Steven
about
Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg.
He got me into films.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I mean, there's a level of whimsy from Steven Spielberg that I'm not into. Like Hook. Hook is too much whimsy. There's too much whimsy in Hook. I enjoy it, but I'm like, I can't watch it
I love
too
Hook.
often. But like, you mean Jaws, which is one of my favorite films ever. Jurassic Park, which is one of my favorite films ever. Am I
I
boring
think-
you? Saving Private Ryan, which is one of the greatest films I've ever seen.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, he's one of the
I
best
think-
directors ever.
This idea is so dumb.
It reminds me of like, what is it like?
It's tout.
What's he doing? What's he doing here? Like, what was that app that everybody liked where it was like 7-second videos?
Vine.
Vine?
This is Vine for film.
Do you guys remember when iPods first came out?
Yeah.
And,
No.
yeah.
And
it
then
was
the
so
Zune came
new.
out, and this is the Zune
It
of.
was, well, the iPods
said
came out,
that.
and it was so new.
Oh, you did?
I did. I
like
just
that.
said that.
We think the same.
Do you guys need a
At
room?
the very beginning, they had zero content, so people were like, I remember the one story was the one guy made a little 40-second.
Yeah, like they had these. It was before
you could
podcasts took
upload-
off.
Yeah, and you could upload it, and he made like $100 million off of Apple because he made a movie that you could watch on your iPod. So that was a thing in that little short amount. That's what this sounds like. This sounds like 20 years too late.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I actually really like short films. I think they're a lot of fun. So
But
I
do
like
you
that.
like 10-minute short films?
Well,
Yeah,
no,
I
but
can do
there's
that.
great short
can do
films
that,
on YouTube.
absolutely.
I don't know if you've like.
Yeah, there are.
dived,
There's
like-
amazing short films on YouTube.
Yeah, especially like scary short films too. There's a ton of horror short films.
So I like
on
the
YouTube.
idea of like here's a place for short films, but I just don't think that directors are going to be flocking to
it's
this.
not a-
No,
Yeah,
and I don't
no.
think it's a great like having it a free service where you get money from ads the way like YouTube is. I think is more lucrative for a short film filmmaker rather than a subscription service.
Yeah, who's the audience for that? Well, I mean, I
I
think
don't
they
feel like paying $5 to watch nothing but 10-minute videos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm gonna go on YouTube and look up creepy films on
Yeah,
YouTube.
I think they're under the impression that everybody, because it is true, like everybody's getting a shorter time,
Yeah.
or,
This should
yeah.
have came out. This app Steven Spielberg's trying to push should have came out a decade ago.
Yeah,
This
at
app-
least, I'm saying longer even.
Yeah.
This app should have came out for free. Like it should be free. It should be a free service. Like
Yeah, and if you want a premium service, then you can do
Yeah.
that
sure,
YouTube
like
Red
ad
something.
free or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But I don't think like just like YouTube, like monetize videos the way YouTube does. I mean, we all like have to or like even Facebook, you watch the video and it like an ad comes on. You're like, well, cool.
Because I'm trying to think of like what's the last streaming service that like I think like Shudder's doing okay because there's enough people that love
Yeah.
horror films, but
Yeah.
that's the
They
only
got
like
a lot to draw off of, though.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
there's
there's-
all the horror movies, and then there's
There's
short-
niche
then
stuff.
there's-
Yeah, like Crunchyroll does anime, so you're gonna get your Crunchyroll
but
streaming
there's
site.
no like huge short film fan base
Yeah,
Like,
Dylan
there
will
is-
get this.
like there is anime or
Yeah.
horror.
Oh, I want to watch a 10-minute horror film.
right now.
I've been to like a few though, like short film festivals.
Oh, you have?
Yeah. Oh my god, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Guild has them sometimes,
Yeah.
and that's like a ton of fun. Me and my friend Emily used to go all the time, and we my friend Emily used to work at Gamers Anonymous on the West Side, and we would have little mini like our own little mini film fest like short film festivals
like fun.
there. Oh
But
my god,
would
it was a blast.
Would you pay for that on
No,
your phone?
no,
Nah, I don't think anybody's
no way.
paying for
I'll
that.
go on YouTube and support those
Sure.
people.
Sorry, Spielberg, we're not feeling
Sorry,
this.
Spielberg.
Yeah.
Go home.
You can't nail everything.
I would be less critical if it wasn't for
The
previous-
hypocrisy?
Yeah, that,
Well, I mean, people
that
should
grinds my gears.
people should be allowed to change their mind. I just think it's dumb that he's changing his mind to unleash his own
Yeah.
stupid streaming service.
Yeah,
Is that Family Guy? You know what grinds my gears.
that's
Yeah.
totally Family Guy. Totally grinds my gears.
All right, let's move into some other news. So coming soon now with Post Tomatoes, which always comes before.
Pre-tomatoes!
And so every week we look at the newest film and or television shows that are coming out for that week. We assign what we think the Rotten Tomato scores are going to be, and then we take a look at the actual scores the following week. So last week we had Dark Phoenix,
Jesus.
Ripley's Believe It or Not, the reboot,
If you
and
believe it or
The
not.
Last Black Man in San Francisco. So what do we think Dark Phoenix was going to get?
We gave it a 47%, and we were pretty much in between critic and audience. Critics gave it a 23 because I think they were just mean. I think they were just out to bash this film.
You think so?
I mean, from everything I've heard, it's not great, but it's
boring.
I've heard it's
I thought it was
boring.
boring.
I think 64 is probably a more honest rating for it of just meh. It's not offensively bad. 23% should be for something like I'd give Aladdin a 23%.
Poor Sophie Turner.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Poor her.
She's
She's like fresh off of Game of Thrones. And she's like, I'm an actress, and then it's like, just
She's
kidding.
going to be just fine.
Oh, I'm
be
sure
fine.
she is.
Yeah.
She's like crying into her $100 bills. Like,
we can just keep rewatching Game of Thrones.
yeah, we're personally funding Sophie Turner's life.
We love her. She's our family.
She's her family. Sansa.
Did any of you guys see Dark? You saw Dark Phoenix.
I did.
What'd you think?
Was it Dork
It
Phoenix?
was boring.
Yeah.
Is it worth a 23% though?
Yeah. kinda.
Wow. All right.
What did you think of the last?
There was nothing new.
Yeah.
There was nothing new that we haven't already seen in previous movies or cartoons or any.
Do you think the Dark Phoenix storyline is just hard to tell in a film?
Well, they didn't even tell. It wasn't. It
That's a
wasn't
good question.
Okay, it wasn't the Dark.
Yeah.
It wasn't the Dark Phoenix.
Like, if you're
story.
going to do the Dark Phoenix story, it seems like you need to build that up
You-
through a number of
yeah,
films.
Yeah, and they took the idea and
'Cause it's-
plopped it into their
Dark
world.
Phoenix is a long storyline in comics. It's not just this one
Event.
issue
Yeah.
done.
Is
Yeah.
Dark Phoenix different than Phoenix that showed up in the third
Yes.
X-Men movie?
Yeah.
They're the same character.
Well, it's the same thing, but Dark Phoenix is sort of a different entity,
A different entity.
or like an evolved maybe.
Okay.
Entity, something.
I would say, because I have a friend who his favorite comic book series is X-Men. And so he was excited for it because it follows the comic books a lot more closely. So I think in that vein, I would say it's probably better than Last Stand, because Last Stand just fucking
Yeah.
made up its own
Pretty
Phoenix origin story. Whereas this, like, as soon as I saw the spaceship, I was like, oh, my buddy's going to love that.
But that's as far as they take it.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
take it any further. So I don't know. I don't know how much more creative that is, but whatever.
I
I'm
think-
just saying. I'm ready for a new X-Men reboot.
Yeah.
I'm done with this.
They'll do it. I don't. Yeah.
I feel like
ready.
when your film is constantly having to do reshoots, that's a bad sign. That almost guarantees it's not going to be good. Except Anchorman. Anchorman's the only film I think
Yeah,
that
I'm sure it'll make
was
its money
saved
back.
through reshoots.
We thought Ripley's Believe It or Not, the reboot, was going to get 100%. There was no Rotten Tomato score for it,
I think
but
we just phoned that
IMDb,
in.
IMDb gave it a 7.3 out of 10. Yeah, we were kind of stoked for who was hosting it?
Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell.
Yeah,
right. And that's Travel Channel. Is that correct? Yeah. Yeah. And
I think it's hard to make that kind of show interesting.
It's
really,
hard.
I feel like it's only interest.
Yeah,
No, do you care?
I care
Yes.
so much.
I care so much too.
did you
I
watch-
love it. I
did you
love those
watch it?
shows. Those
Yeah.
weird like
No,
shows
not
like
this one.
Taboo.
Yeah.
we don't
would-
have the Travel Channel.
Yeah, we do.
I've seen
Do
the
we?
Jack
No,
Palance.
it's on Dish.
Okay.
I've seen the old Jack Palance. Ripley's. I did watch the Dean Cain ones. So
Yeah.
I would watch that.
They're so fun.
I used to
Yeah.
like before binge watching was a thing. I
Yeah.
used to watch like Ripley's Believe It or Not. Like
because they do
Yeah.
like back to back.
I'm
yeah, yeah.
episodes,
They're like one
Yeah, you're
weekend.
allowed.
It's like
No,
every
I'm allowed.
episode of Ripley's Believe It or Not, and I watch it and be like, wow, they ate so much hair. That
Believe it or not.
was-
Yeah, we talked about it last week. I've been to a couple of the museums in LA and then in New York. They're
Yeah.
just it's like Guinness Book of World Records,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but like
that
fun.
was like my shit when I was a kid. Like I loved
Hot
that.
Topic Guinness Book.
Hot
World
Topics version of Guinness Book of
you
Well,
World
I
Records.
even like I love the Guinness Book of World Records.
Records.
Guinness
the-
Book of World
Did
Records.
you watch the
Guinness-
show of that as well?
Yeah, no, I watched it all. I don't know why these things like always drew me in. I was
Those,
like,
those should be on
whoa.
Netflix. I want to watch them.
Yeah, I would
watch
totally
that.
do it.
I would watch
like
those.
just retweeted a meme the other day of just like all of the questions. The like guy would come in like riding a bicycle and be like, "Do you ride bicycles?" Well, and it just kept going. It was really funny. But memes.
Yeah, I want to watch it. I
I
just
want
didn't
to.
watch
Yeah,
it.
I want to watch
Yeah.
this too.
I would watch it.
That'd be fun.
It
And
should be
then-
on like Hulu or something.
Yeah.
I wish.
Sure.
Instead of Travel Channel. Yeah,
I'd
probably
love
would.
to watch it just like on my lunch.
It'd be a good Netflix show.
And they're quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come back from lunch being like, guess who the world's tallest man is? Bet you didn't
Yeah.
know.
It's fun. It's like
This
I
guy.
thought you knew. Oh.
I didn't know. I haven't watched
I don't
Ripley's
know
Believe It
about
or Not.
now. I don't know about now. It was.
Wasn't that basketball
I
player?
forgot his name.
No.
Oh yeah.
Yao Ming, I think, is 7'8".
Jesus.
Yeah, he's insane.
tall.
And lastly,
And we gave Last Black Man in San Francisco, even though there's a guy right behind him. We gave it a 99%.
how do you know they're not
He's
talking about that
they're
guy?
not in San Francisco though. That picture's taken outside the city.
Oh, shit.
Right.
Blew my mind. We gave it a 99%. Critics gave it a 94% because they could count. And then the audience gave it 100%.
How do you know they're not on like a city line? Like
He's
the
in-
front guy.
He's in San Diego.
Yeah, he's in San Francisco. The other guy.
Whoa, buddy.
The
San
other
Diego's
guy
like
is
over
Pull
here.
out your Google Maps, okay? You will see I am the last black man in San Francisco.
So I think this one was. I don't know if it was a wide release. I didn't see it in any local movie theaters. We're here in Albuquerque.
sounds
Yeah,
right.
LA and New
This
York.
is as indie as indie gets.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to wait a few months before it ends up.
Apparently,
here.
it's real freaking good.
The last
Apparently.
few kind of movies that, because, Sorry to Bother You.
Sorry to bother you. It's
Fantastic.
fantastic.
Don't get me started.
I don't know that this is gonna have that
You
sort
should
of.
rewatch it.
No, I'm
Like-
No, I
imagining,
think
I'm
this is
imagining
like
this
a-
more of
it's
like
a
a
little
If
more-
Beale Street Could Talk. Moonlight.
Yeah. It's a little more realistic.
Yeah.
Whereas Sorry to Bother You is one of the greatest
They've been
political
killing it.
satires I have ever
yeah.
fucking
Oh
seen.
my god, yeah. I make everybody watch that.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was fucking great.
Let's move on to coming soon
go.
now with pre-tomatoes, which always comes after.
Post
Tomatoes.
tomatoes.
That's right. And so this week, what's coming out, Mr. Stan?
Yeah, I do. I'm excited for this one. The Dead Don't Die. Jim Jarmusch, if you know who that is, made a zombie movie, and the cast
Cast
is amazing.
everybody in the entire
Everybody
world.
that's been in his movies is like, yeah, come on. Then we have Shaft. Shaft. Is it just Shaft? There's no. It's not.
It's just
Shaft. It's more Shaft than
2,
you can
Shaft,
handle.
Shaft.
Too
There's
Shaft,
more
too serious.
Than I can.
Shaft
Too
Tokyo
Shaft.
Drift.
Two Shaft.
Shaft 2
serious.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, there it is. That's
Yeah,
what
all right.
Yeah. Shaft 2 Electric Boogaloo, and then we have
Men in Black International.
Men in
Mib.
Black International. Okay.
All right, let's get to it. All right, so Dead Don't Die. What are we thinking here, guys?
I feel like I can't say anything. I already know how the reviews are looking.
Oh,
Not
no.
good.
Yeah, they're not.
They're not good.
Are they not
good.
really?
They're real
Yeah.
bad.
Which is stinky.
This
'cause
is
the
a-
trailer
it-
looked good.
Well, it's a cult classic type of film. This
Yeah,
is like
Jarmusch
you
is
could already see it
totally-
as a cult classic type.
this
of
is
film.
not a critic film.
Jarmusch is his own cult following.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Jarmusch film.
Tell me about other films he's done.
Well,
Only Lovers Left Alive.
yeah.
Ghost Dog. Way of the Sand.
Yeah. No, it goes back. He's done some. Yeah. He did one called Dead Man, which is really weird with Johnny Depp, and then there's Down by Law. Actually, that's like my favorite is that one, and then the more mainstream ones. I don't know if have you seen Ghost
No,
Dog?
enemy.
Have you ever heard of Ghost Dog?
No, that's mainstream.
Ghost Dog. Yeah, it is. It's his samurai urban black movie.
It sounds great.
Forrest Whitaker is
Yeah, it's like one of
I'm
Forrest
I'm
Whitaker's
already
most
sold.
memorable roles is
Right.
Ghost Dog.
Yeah. It's got a great soundtrack. So yeah, I think it's just his indie, it's just strong indie take on the zombie genre.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently, it's happened before. The Dead Don't Die, or not the Dead Don't. What is the vampire one?
Left Alive.
Only Lovers Left Alive was sort of the same a Jarmusch vampire movie, but it wasn't that good. So
Oh yikes!
so it was and it was very. I think it went too indie.
Mm.
So we'll see what happens here. Let's see if they take if they keep the
Kind
zombie.
of feel like giving this a score is kind of redundant because it already has a Rotten Tomatoes score.
Yeah, I think it does.
Oh.
So maybe just give it an audience score.
Okay. Do we think audiences are gonna like it more?
Audience are
I think the people who go see this
the-
movie
I was
know what
just
they're
gonna say
getting.
that.
Yeah.
I
don't
think
know
that
that
people-
everybody's gonna see it.
Yeah, the people who are gonna see it are gonna enjoy it because they
Yeah.
know what they're in for.
I'm thinking a 70.
I'm okay with 70.
Being optimistic, yeah, 70, 75.
Mm-hmm. Looks, I mean,
It looks great. It looks funny. I like everybody that's in it.
yeah, I love Bill Murray.
But I don't know that I know I am a target demographic
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
like Jarmusch movies.
Now this next one's going to be my controversial one
Yeah.
because I'm going.
I saw the movie.
You
saw
saw The Dead
Shaft?
Don't Die.
Yeah.
Oh,
What did you
Why did I
think?
move
So
on?
what?
I saw Dead Don't Die.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
And-
What'd you give it?
Give me a mic so I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
I really like The Dead Don't Die. I think a lot of people aren't gonna like it. It's weird. I think it is a critic film though, because there's a lot to. It's like it's not a film you go to enjoy. It's more a film you go to
Experience.
analyze.
Go to this movie to hate it.
dissect. Like there's a lot going on. I mean, the themes and messages are really obvious, but the way Jarmusch actually like explores them is really interesting and like aggressively mundane. Like the scenes are so slow. Like I know 90% of the people who go, 99% of the people who go see it aren't gonna like it.
Really?
But I think if you can brave out like the slow style, it's a lot of, it's got a lot of interesting things to say. And I would
Okay.
recommend. I give it an A-. You can read my review at Sandia Film Journal as always.
Perfect.
I like how you said this is not a movie you go to enjoy, because I love to go do things where I don't enjoy them.
Yeah, we
Really?
saw Aladdin.
No,
That's a perfect description of all of Jarmusch's movies. Though.
Oh, and Only Lovers Left Alive is awesome.
It's a good Jarmusch movie, but I have problems defending that to people who don't know anything about
Yeah.
it. It's one of those movies.
Gotcha.
It's like Lars von Trier fans.
Yeah, you know, you're
That's a
just
hard
like-
sell.
Oh, his movies are fucking garbage.
Yeah.
So like, yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with you on that, but I can't Anyway,
All right. After that, we have
70?
70. I'm thinking 70.
I'm,
yeah.
I'm with that.
After
I'm-
that,
I'm
we
gonna
have
see no matter what.
Shaft, which I think is like it's either a reboot or a sequel or something.
It's a sequel.
It's a sequel.
It's everything. It's everything it wants to be, and
It's-
it's just an excuse for Samuel L. Jackson to say motherfucker.
It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be fun.
I
fun.
think audiences
The
are gonna
trailer-
love this. I think critics are gonna hate it.
The trailer wasn't too bad.
I
don't
wanna
think
see it.
I don't think all the jokes hit in the trailer. And
I-
a lot of the jokes are coming from his son.
Yeah. I don't think this is gonna do well in Rotten Tomatoes.
No,
I don't think so either.
I don't think so either. But I think it's gonna be fun. I want to see it.
It could be fun.
I still want to see it, and this isn't my
You
personal
still
opinion
want
of
to
it.
see it?
This isn't my personal opinion of it. This is just I'm going with critic score.
Okay.
I'm going 20.
Yikes!
That's low.
B.
I'm going 35.
I'll give it like a 40.
I'm thinking like 40 or 50. I'm gonna jump that up.
Just
Okay.
because.
Let's go 35 on average.
35,
maybe.
yeah.
That'll work.
Oh.
No, I
Shaft.
feel like this movie is not gonna.
I think it'll do well.
I don't think
It's
I think
being
gonna,
sold on nostalgia.
It's gonna be a box office bomb.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it out yet?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
All right, and now we have Men in Black International,
That
which
drops
is
today,
which
right?
is a
Mhm.
hella reboot.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like almost totally retconned.
But I haven't heard great things about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I haven't heard horrible things, but
I've heard horrible things.
They used Fergie in the trailer, so
that first trailer was so good, and then every trailer after that kind of just lessened my excitement for it. I'm gonna give it a 64.
I would say.
He's giving her laser eyes.
I'd say like 50.
50? Wow.
Yeah, I'll go 50.
what'd you give her?
I gave it a 64.
Wow, you got high hopes.
It's a D. That's not high hopes. That's a D.
I don't know. Well,
Your last one, Sarah.
so what did you give?
50.
What was the last price? Like like the price is right. Anyway,
51, Bob.
Thank you.
Fuck you.
I like how his joke landed. Thank you. All right. I think I'll give it like a 37.
Jesus.
So where did we end up? 50?
You hate this movie.
We're somewhere.
Yeah, let's give it a 50.
Okay.
All right, we'll
You
check
just
back
gave
in.
it your score.
Huh?
You son of a bitch.
I did that twice.
You gave it shit. No. No. You know
I've done
what?
it twice.
F that. 55. We give it 55.
That's fine. Whatever you want to do.
You fucking.
I'm just saying, I'm right. When I'm right, I'm right. It's tough. It's tough for me.
What did I give it?
You gave
Like
it a
30?
35.
No, I give it a 37.
Yeah.
We'll see who's right now.
Yeah. We'll take a look at these at a later time. And then we're going to move on to our last little game of the night. It is last TV character losses standing. So, what we're going to do is elimination style of all of these characters that have suffered a loss from the show. Usually, like, they're not in a season or they don't continue on in the show.
Yeah.
And so, do you want to go over the characters for us?
Yeah. So we have David Duchovny's character from The X-Files. Michael Scott from The Office. We have Glenn from The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just get
Is that what
him
that
out.
was?
Yeah, let's get him out of here. Eric Foreman from That 70s Show and Ned
Boromir.
Stark. Yeah, Boromir, you fucking motherfucker. Ned Stark from Game of Thrones.
Fox Mulder was his name, by the way.
I never watched The X-Files.
It's good. It's
I
really
love
good.
I love that.
I knew all the other characters, but I didn't
I
know the
noticed.
X-Files. All right, so obviously the way the game works is someone eliminates my favorite character, and I just eliminate out of spite.
And
So
then I get to hear about it when he goes home.
I'm so mad. All right, so
we can go this way where Stan gets rid of something
And
first.
Sarah
we
picks
work-
last?
Yeah.
All right,
She
let's
never
do it.
gets to pick last. So what do you want to eliminate?
Eliminate.
Don't you do it, Stan. Don't you do it.
Boromir gutted
You
me.
son of a bitch.
No, but I'm just saying.
No, he said
I didn't
Boromir
say
gutted me.
Boromir. I just said Boromir gutted me. I'm
Well,
gonna go with.
it's Ned
yeah,
Stark.
so I don't really
It's
care.
Ned Stark.
I don't really care. Actually, I'm gonna go with Eric Foreman.
Yeah.
Topher Grace.
Yeah,
because
that's
that
okay.
wasn't really like he left.
Yeah.
Honestly, and they honestly should have just ended the
And they
show.
should have ended the
Yeah.
show
Yeah.
right then and there.
Yeah, that's not
It
that's
never recovered.
not unlike some of these other shows.
But it
though.
wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't like
Some of them
Everyone
are.
knew Boromir was gonna like. Boromir was a hit in the gut.
His name is
calling-
Eddard.
You keep
Eddard
calling him
Stark.
Boromir, and you're doing it on purpose.
No.
Ned Stark.
It's hilarious.
Ned of House Stark.
Yeah.
First of his name.
protector of the
Warden
realm.
of the North.
Yeah.
We've been watching Game of Thrones way too often.
All right, what are we doing here? What are we doing
So I don't.
here?
Well, I'm just saying. I don't think that's a loss.
No, I agree. It's not important.
Stupid.
I'm gonna get rid
for
of
Grace.
Fox Mulder.
Same kind of dude?
I do like X Files, and
Should've
I know
been-
he didn't show. No, I don't. Well, I think he was only gone for a little bit though, because they did the reboot recently
Yeah.
that brought him back.
Yeah.
But it was
But I mean, the show. Like, do you think the show
should have ended. I don't know if that's the kind of show where
limped
like
along?
it's the kind of show where like they didn't have these huge overarching stories I think until later on in the seasons. Whereas the earlier ones were more of this like anthology, like just Monster of the Week show, you know. And I feel like if it was Monster of the Week, then they can keep doing it. So, anyways, yeah, I just like the other ones more. That's probably why I'm choosing it. Yeah.
I'm going with strategy, and I'm thinking to myself, which show's loss affected the quality of the show the most? So obviously, I'm getting rid of Glenn. Also, I don't like The Walking Dead.
Oh, I love The Walking Dead. I think it's one of the best series ever made for
It's-
At
television.
this
Not.
point in the series, I was done.
Yeah, after the third season, Walking Dead became unwatchable.
Yeah.
No, it did not. Absolutely not. You got one of
Plus-
the best villains on television.
plus,
In the time that Glenn leaves the show.
Plus, I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
'Cause, I read comics.
comic
Honestly,
books. Comic books are
should've
good
killed-
too.
Honestly, they should have killed Daryl instead.
That would have been more. That would have been.
That
more
would have.
fitting.
I would have gone back to watching it.
That would have been more.
Honestly, but
Daryl now has his own like chopper show.
yes. you know that show's bad when they basically have to soft reboot it.
No, that show is not bad at all. It's
Okay.
so good.
All right, Sarah.
Okay. So between Michael Scott and Ned Stark, I think that Ned Stark's death was necessary for both Arya and Sansa to become the amazing characters that they are. And I also,
Also,
like,
to set off the whole series, yeah.
yeah, I mean, and also like his death was that one where it's like, oh shit, no, like people
Period.
that we
Yeah,
love,
yeah, yeah. Things
like
about
it
to pop off.
Yeah, yeah, it gives you the tone of like what the next few seasons is gonna be. So I'm gonna get rid of Ned Stark because I don't think. I mean, I love Ned Stark. I'll pledge my loyalties to
Yeah.
House Stark.
I'll bend the knee for Ned Stark.
I'll bend the knee for Ned
King
Stark.
of the North.
But I don't think that his death or his, whatever, hurt the show at all.
Yeah.
It
which
was. I think
leaves
it made it
us-
better.
Which leaves us with the true character loss. Michael Scott was The Office.
He was the
And then
Office.
when they got rid of him, when he left the show became unwatchable.
Can you
No,
put a
I
heart by
disagree
him?
with that as well because some of the other people that replaced him were pretty good.
Who replaced him?
There were like three or so people that replaced him.
You like Robert California,
Will Ferrell
don't
for
you?
a little bit, Robert California for a little bit.
I was. I
And
think,
then-
Yeah.
He
He didn't replace him.
He didn't replace him. He was part.
The
Michael
eighth
Scott was still
season
around.
is bad.
And then the woman with the dogs.
She didn't replace
Oh,
him.
Kathy
replace him
Bates.
either, yeah.
That was
Bates.
awesome.
She didn't replace him.
She didn't. Oh,
No,
she
no,
didn't
no.
replace
She
him.
was. She actually left
bought the
at the same time. Yeah,
I
and
did
then-
like Robert California a
He's
lot.
fucking-
That's
He
so
was
funny.
so funny.
I like.
No, after he left, I think the ninth season was okay. The finale's perfect. Series finale of The Office is perfect.
What's the finale?
It's the premiere
Wedding.
of the documentary,
then
and Dwight and
Dwight,
Angela's
they
wedding.
get married.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That and it I cried. Cried. No.
We tried to binge watch The Office
And
and,
then we got
we stopped. We just
Season 8.
couldn't.
I think first
Yeah.
episode of season 8 we're just like, this is crap.
we got to it and we're like, oh, do you want to watch The Office
just-
tonight?
They abandon all character development. Andy becomes unbearable.
Yeah.
Andy was the best part of that show.
No, Ed Helms isn't funny.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think Ed Helms is amazing. I didn't mean to say Andy, by the way. I meant to say
I like Ed Helms. He's just not funny.
No, you don't.
He's
You don't like Ed
hysterical.
Helms.
and you're basically Ed Helms, so I would stop shitting.
I'm not
on
Ed
him.
Helms, dude. I'm Ryan.
Yeah, you are.
I'm,
Ryan.
I'm BJ Novak.
You are BJ Novak.
Yeah.
I like that. All right, my favorite part of this show this game is who would you have chosen as the last TV character lost standing? Hector?
Yeah, I guess Michael Scott.
Michael Scott. Okay.
I'm good. Because Well, I mean, Boromir, like his arc came full circle, right? Like he redeemed himself.
Ah!
He died. You know, so like I'm with that. So I'll stick with Michael Scott.
Okay. For me, it's either Ned Stark or it's Glenn. It's so difficult.
You would
Glenn's
want to
death-
see Ned Stark continue on.
I just think his loss was so important. I guess is what
Yeah.
I was trying to. Is how I would view this. It's kind of hard to like.
I
what
just
is
don't
this
think
game?
his loss affected the show's quality.
No, but that wasn't the game either necessarily. Like, did
Oh.
the show get worse?
I
It's just a big loss. I think
So, like,
it
what-
could be seen in multiple ways. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
was a very
his
vague
loss though, because it is like kind of changed television
Yeah.
because everybody in that episode, it was like the moon landing.
Well,
Yeah.
no one expects like the main, like the big
Right.
name actor to die within like the first 7
It's
episodes.
essentially
of
the main
show.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. I'm sorry. I'm
You don't like Game of Thrones,
involved.
Stanley?
Well, I'm involved. I've never seen it, so I've
I've seen it twice.
been like in I've like taken classes and worked on movies.
Yeah.
So like I know things like if there's a big name actor, like a big movie star actor, and then there's a bunch of not. He's probably not going to stick around.
I mean, I guess
that's
it
a
I mean,
TV
that's
trope.
fair.
it
That's a
depends.
TV that's a
Depends on
trope.
the show and it depends on the network.
But that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, I like for like I can. It's usually the big name actors that start the series that don't finish. That's that kind of thing. So
Or they come
Stanley,
in
just
later.
watch Game of Thrones. Just watch Game of Thrones, Stanley. Stop doing it on purpose.
Who would you have chosen, Connor?
it's out of spite now.
I mean, like I kind of had a strategy going in. I think after Michael Scott, The Office has moments of greatness, but the show is a shell of its former self after he leaves.
Yeah.
Like immediately after he leaves. I think the Will Ferrell episodes are funny. I love the interviewing of all of the other bosses and stuff. No, Robert California is not good. He is
think he's so
he is
funny.
weird,
He is weird. That's why it's good.
and it's a level of cringe that is not fun.
no, it's not cringy.
Michael Scott is cringy because Michael Scott's just unaware.
you like
Robert
California
California's cringy because he is
my-
creepy.
My favorite. Do you ever watch Difficult People?
No.
There's a line that says it's Billy Eichner and I forget the girl's name, and they're talking. He's Billy Eichner in
Yeah.
the movie or in the show. And
It looked really funny.
straight women love, or she says straight women love. What's Robert California's name?
James
His real life
Spader.
name.
Straight
Spader.
women loves James Spader. He said, "Well, I think it's disgusting."
But I feel like Michael Scott's such an iconic character,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
because The Office is a remake of a British television show with an even more iconic character, and the fact that Michael Scott can separate himself from David Brent.
And totally took it like they took it like a next step.
Yeah.
Like it didn't like it.
Yeah, this is
way
one of
more
the
than
best
original.
characters
And
ever made on
and his
television.
final episode, like, it's sad.
Yeah.
I cried when Jim's like, "You're the best boss I ever had," and Michael Scott's like, "I'm also like, oh god, he was the best boss you ever had."
Sarah, who would you have chosen?
I think I'll stick with Michael Scott.
Ah,
I don't. Yeah.
almost unanimous.
Yeah, I don't really care about like Eric Foreman.
That 70s show is never good to me.
Yeah,
so.
same.
I
I was never
agree.
into
I
it.
like the first couple of seasons. It just
Yeah, you know
after a
what?
while,
It has a
like
big
the,
fan
like the
base,
first
though.
2 or well,
Yeah.
because people like shit. People like the Big Bang Theory, so
Yeah.
fuck them. Malcolm in the Middle was better.
I never watched
Boom.
The Walking Dead, so I don't really care about that.
You're not missing anything.
The X Files is fine. Used to scare me when I was a kid, so I like never.
I think it should have ended when Duchovny left, but
Yeah, he
it
was the
limped
show.
along. It limped along. It was fine.
Yeah, but- and
same
I-
with Office. So
I'll stick with what I said about like Ned Stark's loss. Like hurt me.
It needed to happen.
But it needed to happen. So yeah, and I agree. Like we tried to like continue watching The Office without Michael Scott, and we're both just kind
It's
of
not
like
the same.
meh.
his last joke in the series is one of the best.
What was it?
It's like my kids.
He gets to he's at the airport.
Yeah.
He's still got his mic. He says, "It'd be good to get this thing off me."
Uh,
And he takes the mic off and
huh?
he mouths, "That's what
Yeah,
she said."
because he's not Mike.
He's
Ah.
not Mike, but that's his joke, and then he leaves.
That's
And he has
good.
that great moment with
Yeah.
Pam as he's
Yeah,
leaving.
yeah,
I love
yeah.
it. I love that finale. That should have been the series
That should
finale.
have been. That would have been great.
But I mean, don't get me wrong. The series finale of The Office is perfect.
It is good.
But
They
that
had to bring him back.
if that had been
Spoiler alert.
oh, it was beautiful. Wait,
It's been out for a
Wait.
while.
It has.
If
No.
you haven't seen the end of The Office yet,
I forgot exactly what the setup was when he said that's what she said and Dwight turns around, like tears are starting, like the fact that you can turn a that's what she said joke into a tearful moment.
Right,
I'm just
yeah.
like, oh my god.
It's a good show. And the most binge show on Netflix.
I
It-
feel
think
like
for
that
a hot
and
minute,
Friends.
it was.
I feel like it'd be up there. Friends would be up there too.
It's got to be those two shows. If they
Friends.
lost Friends or The Office,
I think it's Office, Friends,
Netflix
and
would
That
lose
70s
all
Show.
of its.
Oh yeah, because Stranger Things and yeah.
They
Well,
would
it's not
lose- they would
bingeable.
lose
Like
half
I
of them.
know, like my old roommate used to watch like The Office, That 70s Show. I don't think she watched Friends, but she would watch it constantly.
Just over and over.
Yeah, I'd like leave for work in the morning, and she'd be like on the couch watching The Office.
You know, the best thing they ever did was get rid of the intros, like intro skip.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, God bless.
I wish HBO would
I wish,
do
yeah,
that.
because the Game of Thrones intro is so
Hold
long.
on. You know what? I take it back because I love that intro.
The Game of Thrones ones.
Hell yeah.
We like
It's
sing
okay.
through it.
Bum, 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 bum.
That's like when we like.
But
show
you
up at-
know the theme.
I know wiener, wiener, wiener. One penis next to another.
God damn you,
I know
Stanley.
that.
Just watch the show.
Is that like a South Park
It's a
thing?
South Park
Yeah,
thing.
that's
Okay.
Yeah.
totally South Park.
Well, our buddy Wes goes Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones.
That's
Me
what we do.
too.
That's what we do.
I love Wes. I miss him.
I know he's
He
the
should be
best.
on Screen
He
Source.
should. He wouldn't know anything.
That's not the point. I
It
just
really
want him on the
isn't.
show.
I agree. And that has been the show, Screen Source episode 65. We talked about a lot today, guys. We also watched a lot of trailers, so make sure to go check those out.
What were
Yes, we did.
some of those trailers, Dylan?
Oh, that's a good question. We watched The Good Doctor.
Yeah.
Yes.
He wasn't as good as he thought he
He
was.
was a bad doctor.
No.
What's it called?
Doctor Sleep.
Sleep, thank you.
Jesus Christ.
It's basically the same thing.
This is your show. We watched the Banana Splits movie.
Good
Uh-huh.
boys.
That was
Good
awesome.
Boys
Good
is going to be
Boys.
great.
That might be
Uh,
my favorite trailer of
yeah.
the evening.
I don't know. Banana Splits is pretty good.
That was.
We had a
That
great.
That was a good out of left field one.
Yeah.
We had a great trailer reaction to Jessica Jones.
Oh, yeah.
so
That's my favorite.
We all
one.
knew it. We all
If
knew
you're
what
a
we
big
were
fan of Jessica Jones, go check out our
That's gonna be-
trailer.
and if
reaction.
there's ever like a compilation show, that's gonna
We-
be number one.
We definitely
Jessica
reacted
Jones.
to it.
Yeah,
We
Jessica Jones.
reacted
We
to
should
it.
have done we should do a trailer reaction of 30 seconds of.
Yeah, so that happened. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in to Screen Source episode 65. Check out Color Circuit for a lot of other shows. We got Ludum. We got a new season of Ludum Tempest coming, right?
Oh, it's actually it's rounding out for the end of the season.
Oh,
so-
the end
we're
of.
balls deep.
Yeah.
I'm in the season finale.
Yeah, there you go.
It's not a fun game we play.
Oh, is that the stinky, smelly
It
game?
was a fun. Yeah.
He smelled when he came in.
I got into the
yeah.
car and I smelled like cat piss.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he
It
smelled
was
that.
a weird game. We do board games, tabletop games, all sorts of things here.
Check us out on Facebook. We still have a Twitch channel?
Kind of. I mean, the videos are there.
It's there. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter. Support our Patreon. I
Hit
think
the subscribe button.
hit that subscribe button. Recommend us. Share
Yeah.
our videos.
Yes, please. That's Connor.
Stan us, please.
That's Sarah.
That's
Dylan.
Dylan.
And I'm Dylan. Thank you,
Get
Hector.
outta
We'll see you next
Hi.
time.
Peace.